Hey, what's up, everybody? I wanted to take a minute and welcome you to the Donut Shop podcast. I had a suggestion from somebody who watches the show and thought it was a good idea. I'm always open to suggestions about the show. And he mentioned that I never usually introduce myself or at least tell you about who I am. And with adding new fans or new viewers all the time, it might be a good idea to go over that. So my name is Justin. I've been a police officer for 20 years. I'm actually getting ready for retirement. I'm going to retire and start doing this podcasting stuff full time. During my career, I've worked on road patrol. I've been a crisis negotiator. Did that for about 8 years. It was great training. Learned a lot about mental health and working with people. I was a school resource officer. I worked in the elementary school and then in the high school. I did that for 6.5 years. Then I also moved into the community resource unit and public information officer unit. So I did a lot of community engagement. I ran our social media for the department. And then I also spoke with the news. Kind of leads into this, even though I was a podcaster before I was in that unit. I've been doing podcasting since about 2012. I started with a soccer podcast with some friends for a local soccer team. We had a great time. It was a little different than this, obviously, but I was on the mic and doing that kind of stuff. Then eventually in 2020, started this podcast with a friend of mine, Nick, and he's no longer on the show, but the show drives on, and here we go. Basically, it's a cop sitting in a donut shop and someone interesting walks in. They don't always have to be law enforcement based. As a law enforcement officer, we know when we're in uniform, pretty much everybody comes up and talks to us. Especially when we're trying to take a break and eat dinner or eat a lunch or something like that. It's not usually a bother, and sometimes you get interesting stories out of it. So that's kind of where I created the premise for this podcast and what it is today. Now let's get into the episode.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Donut Shop podcast. I am here today, back in the Donut Shop, and I have my friend Jody Rahn.
Yeah,
Rahn?
that works.
Okay,
Rahn.
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's right.
And so I've known her for a couple years, and she was saying, "Hey, why don't you have me on the podcast? Like, I should come on the podcast." But then she gets all nervous and scared and says she doesn't know how to talk. So
I'm not nervous now.
Yeah, see, that's why we talk for a half hour before.
Right.
And but people do that. They'll be like, oh, I want to come to the podcast, and then when I actually like pull the trigger on it and I invite somebody on the podcast, then they're like, whoa, oh, there's cameras? And it's like, yo, how do you think you watched the videos that were on Instagram that you saw me talking? So I've known her for a couple years. She was a coach at F45 when I started working out at F45. I've talked on the show before and on my lives about that. That's how I work out now and the style of workouts that I do. And she was like the primary coach that I worked out with at one of the old studios that I worked out at. And, it was cool. She was always fun and, energetic. You'll see that in this show. Hopefully she's not going to just be like a lump in the chair. And then, and so we're going to talk a little bit about training and stuff like that. For sure. Just stuff in life or whatever. Okay. So what's up? So tell me, like, where'd your fitness journey come from? Because I know I've seen some before and after photos and stuff like that. So is that what kind of started?
This is a kind of a longish story, but I'll try to make it
short. We got plenty of time.
So basically I was going through like a lot of stuff. I had a baby at 38. Okay. I believe it was 38, I think was when I had my last kid. Yeah, 38 and 36. Sorry, 36. Okay. But anyway, I had my baby at 36, and I had went through postpartum depression really bad.
Okay.
And while I still had it, I was just gaining weight like crazy, and I just went into a bad depression. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. And then after that, I the next year after that, my brother had passed away. So then I was like really depressed
Yeah.
and gaining weight, more weight, more weight.
Yeah.
And then eventually during COVID, actually, I was like, what is going on? I had saw a picture of myself and I looked at it and I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be me, because I also have fibromyalgia. So with the fibromyalgia pain, it made it worse being heavier. And it also, it helps to work out when you have that. So I didn't want to have to, deal with that and be heavier. So basically,
Let's interrupt a little bit. What's fibromyalgia? Can you? I've heard it before, and I've heard people talk about it and stuff. So but I haven't.
It's a chronic pain disorder where, as far as I understand now, it's a neurological condition that sends like pain signals to your nerves that make you think you're in pain, and you're literally in pain. Like my whole body will feel like it's on fire. It's hard to wear clothes.
Jeez.
Just like touching is terrible. My bones hurt. Like my body is achy. Like I have the flu.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's not fun.
And does it do kind of like what we would call like flare ups?
Yes.
Where it's like you're good,
Yep.
and then something has like a
Something
trigger.
yeah.
Is there like what would be some of the triggers, like either for you or for general?
For me right now, I actually found a really good doctor and got on a pretty good medication that actually helps my flares. So I don't really get flares very often. I will get one flare like once a month, like during my menstrual cycle. And it's just like a slight flare. It'll just kind of, I'll be in pain and I can push through that. You know what I mean? So it's pretty light.
It's like, it's one of those things where you're like, all right, I have no method of injury.
Right.
But there's pain.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's that. So let me work through it.
Yep. Let me just go work out. Let me do something. I have to like keep my body moving.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I know I've heard that, and you obviously you see commercials and stuff for pain meds and different meds and stuff like that. But I've heard that it can be debilitating. And,
it is.
And coupled with psychological, either depression or other things going on psychologically, those kind of things combined. So like if you've got that going on, plus like a postpartum depression,
plus PTSD and anxiety and ADHD. Okay. So I'm like diagnosed with all of those. Okay. All right. So like all of that in my head, plus that just messed me up. But during COVID, I decided I was gonna just change everything. And I started with a little bit of equipment. I think I went on Amazon and bought like this cheap little bench that was like $80. Got me some dumbbells, started working out in my backyard. My friend and neighbor, her name's Layla, she worked out with me also. We worked out together. And then once everything started opening, we joined Crunch. And we started taking the HIIT classes at Crunch. And then I just fell in love. And then I met my best friend, Kat, who's amazing. She was the coach for the HIIT classes there. Yeah. And the HIIT classes there, I fell in love with them. I fell in love with the HIIT like instantly when I started doing it.
So
I
like
loved it.
So like high intensity training where you're consistently moving,
functional training.
You're not taking long breaks in between things. You're not doing like massive recovery. You kind of let your I find that with it, it's good. And a lot of times we wear heart rate monitors for a lot of those, where you wouldn't necessarily do it if you were just weightlifting training in the gym at Crunch, but with a HIIT class, you want to try to get your heart rate back down. Right. At least on the short breaks.
Exactly. That's the point of the short break, is just to get your heart rate down a little bit and then spike it back up again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, I mean, so to go back with COVID and stuff like that, that was definitely like one of those times where a lot of places we were stuck at home, and the online and home training business was really kind of having to thrive. We saw the uptick of Peloton and all that stuff kind of like fly up because everybody was stuck at home because regular gyms were closed. I know for me, with looking at stuff going on with everybody getting sick in some variation of sick, obviously, if you caught COVID or if you just had the flu or you just had a fever or whatever, sick was very present in our lives
Exactly.
during that year to a year and a half,
Right.
even 2
It
year
felt like forever.
period. And so for people that have lived through it, that's a benchmark, or like that's a time marker in all of our lives, that we all have something that of an
Right.
equal story. And I know that was for me, a time, because I had a friend who died because of heart problems, not related to COVID. She died.
I'm sorry.
And then
Sucks.
my sergeant at work was second on the list to get his lungs replaced, and he was in comas and everything. He was in the ICU for 79 days. So we dealt with all that. So it's like all those things coupled with, like, we were talking about before the show, with like my back being herniated and stuff. I made the decision, or my wife, encouraged me to make the decision,
Right.
like, I don't want to see you curled up in a ball for the rest of your life, hurting
Exactly.
because of your back. The only thing that's going to repair that, aside from surgery, which none of us want to get, is working out and strengthening your body and your core,
Yep.
which you're going to have positive effects through a lot of things then, because all the kind of stuff with hormones, with everything.
Yep.
And so
Your mental changes, everything. It's
I
great.
said in like I think it was like 2021 or 2022, I was like, yeah, I've watched too many friends get sick. I attended too many funerals because of what I did with the police department with Honor Guard, that it was too much death. So we've
Yeah.
got to combat that. And I had to get healthier.
Yep.
And, so I see that's kind of like what you're saying.
Exactly.
You
Like
were
I basically watched my grandmother like disintegrate
Mm-hmm.
basically because her spine was so bad that she had went to the doctor one time and they had picked her up just to move her into a chair, and they like broke 7 vertebrae in her back just because she was so like
Oh, wow.
fragile and weak.
She had kind of like I don't know, I think the common phrase is brittle bone disease, but there's osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis, yeah, and osteoarthritis and all kinds of things, and she just didn't take care of her body as far as working out. She like sarcopenia. She didn't have any muscle. She was just, withered away.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and then mixed with the fibromyalgia pain, I said, look, if I'm going to be in pain, I might as well look good. So that was basically my turning point, where I was like, I can't, do this anymore.
Yeah.
I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want everything. I see all these people that are, going to the gym, and being down here, it's everywhere, it's
South
more,
Florida, gyms are everywhere, and then everybody wants to look beautiful.
Fitness is big down here,
Yeah.
compared to Michigan, where I originally came from, born in Texas, but moved to Michigan. It's not really as prevalent as it is here. So I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about training back then. I was just like I said, I was going to Crunch for the classes, and I had gotten to know the manager and like all the people that worked there. And I had wound up getting a job cleaning there. So I cleaned the gym for a while. And that was actually really fun, honestly. It was a fun job. I just talked to all the people that were there, all the members, got to know everybody. It was fun. And then something had happened. I had gotten surgery on my hands for carpal tunnel and left that job because, I don't know, they didn't hire me back or something. I can't remember. But left that job and wound up getting a job at 24 Hour Fitness, which is now LA Fitness.
In that building. I was like, the company didn't change, but
no, it's the
building
same.
did.
Yeah, the same building, but different companies. I started cleaning 24 Hour, and then, like we were saying, like I told you before, I started taking the F45 free classes outside, and then that led me to coaching at F45. They offered
So they
me a
had
job.
they were trying to like kind of stay open.
No, they were
Or-
trying to open. This was before they were open. This was their
they were
like
doing
pre-opening,
like a trial. Or
yeah,
whatever kind of thing?
yeah.
Okay.
So you could like come take their free classes and see what they're all about on, and of course, they were trying to sign people up at that time.
Yeah.
But I had went online and wound up signing up for something. I didn't even know what it was. She's like, oh, you paid for this and this, to be on our list for the, what did they call it? The beginning rate. like what, can't remember what the name of it
introductory
is.
rate or
Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Something like that.
Some scam.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So they told me about that and I was like, whatever. But I had kept coming like almost every Wednesday, and I decided to get certified. I was working while I was working in 24-hour, working around all the, trainers and the people there. It just, something in me was like, I really want to help people.
So by that point, had you seen the transformation in your body from
Oh, yeah.
when you were
Oh, yeah.
heavier
Oh, yeah.
or out of shape, and then you'd already been doing
This was already this was like a couple years span. So from 2020 to 2022, I think I had lost maybe, I want to say 56 pounds. And then of course I had muscle too, but
yeah.
I
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
had
replace.
yeah, I like leaned out a lot, and
Cool.
I had seen a lot of difference. So at that time I was like,
Sold on the
yeah,
philosophy.
I was like, this
Yeah.
is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
and then I like I said, I had my friend Kat who, was there, a really big inspiration for me, because she was always, you know, trying to encourage me to work out. Like, come on, work out. Let's work out. Let's work out. So we'll always work out still.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's good to have a gym buddy.
Yes,
For
definitely.
those, we all need different types of, encouragers and stuff. For me, like, it's the accountability or the, like, I try to post every one of them on social media just to, like, so that I can kind of remind myself, like, to post
you gotta
it.
do it.
And
Yeah.
then I feel like, all right, maybe I'll reach out to or maybe somebody will see it and go, damn, Justin keeps nailing those workouts.
Yeah.
Like, I should go do that. And maybe it'll
Exactly.
influence somebody else. But otherwise, it's just to keep me accountable, because it's like, all right, somebody might not see me post that for a week and might go, hey, bro, like, you didn't post anything for a week. Like,
Right, what's up?
You all right? Oh, yeah, I blew my back up, and, I've been out. Thanks for checking in.
Right.
But so there's the, like, little bit of accountability. Like, so those are the things that I need. And then I get the benefit of it.
Right,
of
exactly.
feeling better and all that kind of stuff. So it's perfect to have the gym buddy. So we'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Yo, what's up, guys? I want to do a follow-up. I used to run an ad or commercial for my friends at HPTRT, Human Performance, talking about like testosterone therapy or, all that kind of stuff. I finally have been, I've been using it. I've been, a member of the program for over 6 months now. I got my second round of labs, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. When I first was tested, I was at 330. I'm a 43-year-old man, and my test was at 330. I didn't even go through the injections. I'm going through a couple different types of prescription pills that they have to help me out. All legal, all on the up and up. But after this 6 months, my test has gone up to 910. As somebody who works out 3 to 4 times a week, wants to stay young, wants to stay healthy with all this stuff. It's helped with all kinds of stuff, like my focus, continuing to get me like the best sleep that I've ever gotten. I've enjoyed it. So go over to hp-trt.com and check it out. You can bring, if you've had lab work within the last 6 months, you can bring your own lab work and they'll start you up. If you haven't, then you pay for the lab work through them. Or you can just go to your own doctor and do your lab work through your normal insurance, which I'm sure has a zero copay, if anything. And use the code DSP20, and that'll get you 20% off forever, as long as you're a member, as long as you use Human Performance. So it's a great program, good people over there. So go ahead and get it done. And if you've been thinking about it, or if you've looked at recent tests in your testosterone and you want to boost to that kind of stuff, get into it, because you can also get the testosterone through them as well as peptides and other things. So DSP20 will get you 20% off. Good luck. All right, we're back. And so your fitness journey's, continuing on, like rolling through there.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing the classes at F45, and then you kind of rolled it into coaching at F45.
Yep, and started coaching there. I coached there for 2.5 years. Unfortunately the studio I worked at closed.
Yeah.
That's what stopped me working at F45, or
Yeah.
I'd still probably be there.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had it was a pretty decent gig.
It
You know,
was,
you guys
yeah.
didn't have many coaches at that studio, so
Yeah.
you were just there for most of them because that's, like I said, where I started working out for or at F45 was at that one, and yeah, oh, Jody's always there.
Right. Yeah. It was fun though. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good one, but you know, part of the reason why I liked it was that it was like smaller classes. There was usually only like 5 or 6 people there.
Yeah. Right.
And,
Especially at the time that you came.
yeah, when I'd go at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a sustainable business
No,
model for that kind
not
of a
at
place,
all.
especially in the shopping plaza quote outdoor mall that it was in.
Yeah.
The rent was probably super high.
Exactly.
So it wasn't.
And you have to have people that care about, the business as well, that care about the studio.
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Because stuff would get beat up.
Unfortunately, they didn't care about the studio. They, because they were never there. They,
Yeah.
They kept their other studio taken care of. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that one just got neglected. I think they knew they were going to close it anyway, so that's why.
Oh yeah, they probably had like 6 months left, kind of thing, and then they were just like, yeah,
because there was letters that kept coming to the studio that I never opened.
Yeah.
But you know what they are.
Yeah.
You know that they're like a bill or
Yeah.
something that's saying you need to pay this now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it
I
is
mean,
what
it
is.
happens.
We live, we learn.
That led me to LA actually.
Yeah. So
And-
not the city, but LA Fitness.
Yeah, LA Fitness.
So now you're training at LA Fitness and doing that.
Yeah, one-on-one training.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoy it very much. It's very rewarding to me, but it's not sustainable like financially. That's the only issue. I have started my own business.
Yeah.
So I'm working on getting all of that, going and rolling and all of that. So
Right, because you have a website.
yeah.
What was it called? Oil Can Fitness?
Yeah, oilcanfunctionalfitness.com.
Functional Fitness.
Yep.
So kind of like you're the Tin Man, and you got to
came-
oil things up, and
Exactly.
you gotta
Yep. That's where the whole idea came from. I don't know. I was sitting around thinking about names, and the Tin Man popped in mind,
Yeah.
and then Oil Can just came into mind, and I was like, oh, I actually like that because I'm catering more towards seniors, people who are 65 and over, like that. So that's really what I'm aiming to do. That's go in home and help them train, because a lot of people, especially elderly people, they don't want to go out to the gym, or they don't know how to go to the gym, or they're intimidated to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I'll take it to them. I'll take the equipment with me and go to their house and do it for them.
Cool.
With
so
them.
so what do you like when you said you got your certifications before?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of certifications do people need when they're like going to be trainers and stuff?
Okay, well, basically, you just need a basic certified personal training certificate, and that's what I started with. But like with the company that I went through, ISSA, they give you like bundles of courses. So I had wound up getting that with the corrective exercise certification, and I think there was one more, I can't remember, but I now have 9 certifications. So
What are those? Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I have functional fitness, I have senior fitness training, bodybuilding specialist, nutritionist, glute specialist.
Oh. Just glute special.
Yes. What else? What did I not say yet? There's a couple more. I can't remember. Did I say corrective exercise yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. I should have wrote it down.
So you need your phone.
Exactly. Now you're right.
But so it's like glute specialist. It's
Right.
we laugh or whatever, but like what
So-
are they really going to teach you?
So basically, they go through like all of the anatomy of like all the glutes. They show you everything, all the anatomy of the glutes, and what exercises you want to do primarily to grow your glutes. It teaches you that genetics play a really big role in your glute growth and stuff like that. Just stuff like that to let you know, how to train your glutes basically, and stuff like that.
Okay. So yeah, so some of these certificates can like pinpoint on certain muscle groups, rather than all encompassing, because obviously like,
Right.
we'll like, I'll look on Facebook, or I'll be going through my Facebook timeline or something, and they're suggesting reels.
Right.
And I watch some of them. They've got the little AI robot showing you a workout, or
Right.
like a cartoon doing it, or it's a real person. And they're like, yeah, don't do it this way. Do it this way. But sometimes they show you so many like
Different
different
ways.
ways to do it. Like I just sent you one the other day with the band.
Yeah.
Did you try that yet?
No, I haven't
Okay.
tried it yet.
Yeah. So normally there's, some of us know that can't do pull-ups or have a tough time doing pull-ups. You'll use like the big elastic bands, and they'll just loop them over the bar, or like Lark's head knot over the bar, and then you like hook your foot in there.
Or
And then
knee,
there's
yeah.
obvious silly real mishaps where the band will flip off of somebody's foot while they're doing a pull-up, and it'll come up and hit them in the crotch. Guys and girls
Yeah, I've seen it.
are not immune to this. It hurts both. And so somebody, the video then goes and switches to a dude that's like, why don't you just do this?
Yeah.
And put the band into
his
each
shoulders, right?
Yeah, underneath like your shoulder blades
Yeah.
across your back, and then put them up, put them on your hands, and then just do pull-ups with it with your
Yeah.
hands in
I
it.
haven't tried that yet.
I mean, the guy makes it look like it's.
I kind of want to try it just to see if
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, the guy makes it look pretty effortless, but it also looks like you can do a pull-up without a band.
Yeah,
So for
exactly.
those of us that need a band,
Right. In the
you
right
know,
spot.
yeah. So, so there's all those kinds of like social media videos. So it's like people can like
And it's crazy.
explore and just
Yeah.
learn way too much. And then they get into the gym and they're just too confused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like a lot of the things that they show you, like, squats and RDLs and things like that. Yes, you do have to have certain, posture and form. It has to be good, whatever. But it all depends on your body,
Yeah.
on people's bodies. Every single body is different. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Myself personally, I cannot do a close together squat. Like I can't put my feet together and squat unless I'm elevated.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
of my legs, my knees. So I have to, put
Well,
my
that's
feet
what
wider
you're
or
dealing
whatever.
with, like an injury situation type stuff with your knees, or is that just a
Oh, they
genetic
just
thing
don't.
too?
They just don't bend like that
Okay.
way. Like I don't know if it's mobility or what, but they just don't bend that far. So I have to keep my legs a little bit wider just so I can get deeper into my squat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or you're just like me and you're not that flexible because
Probably,
you
yeah.
don't stretch as much as you should, and you can't get a deeper squat. Although
Stop
I am
calling
working
me
on.
out.
No, I'm talking about me.
But you're also calling me out too
Yeah.
because I do the same thing.
Yeah, but my squats are getting better because we have those functional racks at the gym now. So
Mm-hmm.
they sprinkle actual squats into certain workouts now.
Yeah, that's
and,
cool.
And they're improving, but I still like if they catch me on video and I look at it, I'm like, oh, it looks like trash. I'm not even breaking 90 degrees on my knees.
Right.
So I still need to work on that. But
And it just depends on your foot position too, because like you could maybe get 90 degrees like if you're a little wider, you know what I mean? And your feet
Yeah.
are a little wider, whatever. Not sumo wide, but like just a little bit wider. And you could totally get a little bit deeper that way. It just depends. That's what I do.
yeah.
So
So with seniors, that sounds like a pretty cool mission, kind of a mission that pulls from your history with your grandmother and stuff. How do you market to that age bracket or to that group?
So
Like, how do you-
mainly, okay. So what I'm planning to do, and what I'm in the process of doing now, is writing up letters to give to physical therapy offices to recommend me after their like insurance runs out, because most of the time after their insurance runs out, they don't have anything left. They're not going to be working out anymore most likely after their physical therapy runs out, because they just do what they do in the physical therapy office. They got to go home. They might do it for a couple of days, and then, it's just they give up on it. So I want to be that bridge between, the physical therapy and then the working out afterwards.
Okay.
So I want to keep them continuing to work out so they can maintain mobility and live long, happy lives.
So, but it's not necessarily like where you are hooked in through insurance, where you're just taking self-pay type type clients for that.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily qualify for the silver sneakers or anything like that.
No.
And you're talking probably more, silver sneakers is going to be people that already go to, like, say
the gym
a Crunch or a LA Fitness because they host those kind of classes and work with their insurance and that stuff with Medicaid and everything and Medicare. And but there are some people that just, like you said, don't want to venture out into the gym or don't know how to or don't have the confidence.
Right, exactly.
Maybe you can build them up to that confidence and be that, like you said, that next stage.
Exactly. That's pretty much my point. Okay. I want to get them moving and maybe get them in the gym or get them out of the house to go do things, because some people are just stuck in the house because, ever since we were kids, what have we been told? You get old and you like shrivel up and you die.
Yeah, you
know what I mean? Like that's what we've always been told, and like that's not the case.
Yeah.
Like you can maintain your your
mobility, your body,
exactly.
your physical your physical abilities. You may not be able to lift as much, but yeah, I mean, I see so many stories.
Even just walking around and being able to carry things and, play with your grandchildren and just things like that, Not even just to get fit, like bulky or anything. It's not bodybuilding. I just want to help people move.
I mean, we see it's crazy to see some of the comparisons. Like, I mean, I keep going back to social media, but like they'll show, like Cheers. They'll show like the cast of Cheers and they'll be like, 38, 40, 41. And you're like, bro, I thought that guy was like 65 or something like that, like, so like in the 80s, people looked and aged
differently.
Yeah. Older.
Yeah.
They advanced older. Whereas, all those people were, like our age right now and had full heads of gray hair, which some people do at my age, but full heads of gray hair. And I know you dye your hair in a million different colors, but so you'd never really know what it looks like.
I have some grays,
but I don't think that we look as old as those people looked that we were represented
definitely
to,
not.
or that we saw on TV.
Right.
Definitely
not.
So it's doing something different. So
really,
the 70 and 80-year-olds look different these days, like now.
Yeah, exactly.
Than they did back when our grandparents were 70 and 80.
Right. Exactly. I train a 75-year-old and he's amazing. Like his progress that he's had is mind blowing. Like I love it. It just makes it like fulfills my heart.
Yeah. So, but then you'll still, with the business, you still train, middle-aged person or a young person if they want to. You train anybody. Of course,
I will train anybody. Yeah. It's just that's just my main focus. But if anybody comes to me, or wants to train, of course, I'm not going to be like no. Of course, I'll train them.
Yeah. What's your favorite like workout to do? Like what's one that you would like really look forward to?
I love working out with kettlebells.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that kettlebell workouts are a lot of fun.
Like all kinds of like ranging movements and stuff.
Yeah, like like cleans, press, squat to press, things like that. Like just all the fun little things. I'm not really good at doing like the flow things. I don't know if you've ever seen on the internet. Like there's people who can like do really cool things like mobility flows with kettlebells, and it's really awesome. I want to work my way to that eventually.
I know that I think I've seen like there's all kinds of twists
and calisthenics stuff too. I want to get into that. I've been trying to work my way into that.
What's that
too.
Like just sit-ups and push-ups
like pull-ups and like handstands and crazy things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple accounts that I follow. One of them's like I don't know. I think he's like kettlebell dad or something like that or something. And it's, you know, he talks about how he's a dad or whatever, but he just works out with kettlebells. But the thing that sucks is you watch these videos of some of these influencers on Instagram and they're like already ripped.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, dude, like,
And then they already know
where'd you
what they're
come from?
doing. Yeah.
you know, like you don't see somebody like build up.
And they make things look so easy.
yeah.
They're like, and they don't show, like, a lot of people won't show like slow motions. You know what I mean? They just go right into the doing whatever they're doing. And if someone's trying to watch them and follow them or, you know, try to do what they're doing, they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to be like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because I've even been there trying to follow a video like that before, you know? So it's not easy when they're crazy.
Kettlebells are fun.
They are fun.
This morning we had to do kettlebell sumos.
Oh.
Sumo deadlifts.
Nice.
On platforms. So
that's a good
my
one.
legs are tired.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, they're good.
I like kettlebells. And I just like any really functional hit. I've just fell in love with it when I got into F45. So that's usually how I train as well. Like when I train younger people, like that's my main focus, functional fitness.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Everyday movements.
I need to try and get into more of the hybrid classes that aren't just weightlifting. I've been doing primarily just weightlifting. So I've been trying to do some of them, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Because I tried to do Friday and they're doing Fridays now. They're doing high rocks and I don't want to do high rocks.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
No.
I don't want to get into high rocks. It's another crazy thing.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That's even too much for me. I don't think I could do it. Maybe someday, but no.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I could do it, but I don't want to.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to sprinkle in runs for just to improve my 5K, work.
I don't run.
Yeah. I'm trying. It's just something that I want to do.
That's
I want to
good,
get better at 5Ks. Like I have a couple friends that do 5Ks and
that's awesome.
I'm always last or one of the last ones finished out of all of us. And my best one was with a good friend of mine who's a track coach. So he ran with me in the 5K. It was at Markham Park and he like kept me going, wouldn't let me stop.
Aww, that's
like,
awesome.
I got a cramp. He told me how to break the cramp while running, like it was, the weird thing about like, I had to like push on it and then like raise the other arm or something like that. And I was like, the cramp went away. How does a cramp go away?
Yeah.
Like when you're still doing what's most likely aggravating or creating the cramp.
Exactly.
So, and he knows all this stuff because he's a cross country coach and a track coach. So
that's cool.
I was like, so he's got me signed up for one. I may not sign up for the other one, but I signed up for one
cool.
out west to do. And so I'm going to try and do just a couple a year and see if I can
That's awesome.
boost my time, get a little bit better.
Of course you can.
At it or whatever. So where did the facial piercings come from? and the teeth piercings?
Well, it's the little like frenulum up there.
Oh, that's where that. Okay. Oh, I always thought you had it like running through your teeth.
No.
People are probably like, what the hell are they talking about?
No, it's my little smiley piercing.
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, because there was a ice skater there was a figure skater in the Olympics right now. I don't know if she's Asian, but she had like kind of like raccoon layered hair going on, and she's sitting there and she's got that hanging from the skin joint.
I think it's called the frenulum. I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top of your lip.
Frenulum,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the little piece of skin that connects the lip to the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gums. Yeah.
Or gums.
So okay. Where did it come from?
Where did it come from? Trauma.
Okay. All right.
I mean, really, honestly, when I was like 15, that's when I really started like liking piercings, I guess. I pierced my ear like 15 times by myself.
Oh, just one of those like ladders that goes all the way up.
Yeah, and I like pierced it all the way and just left this one and really liked it. And then my first facial piercing was my eyebrow when I was 18, and I loved that too. And then I don't know, I just fell in love with piercings.
Well, the eyebrows grow away, or they push out, don't they?
No, I've never had a problem. People say that about like surface piercings a lot, but I have this one right here, and then I have the one that's over here behind my ear.
Oh, on that.
Yeah, like right there.
Oh, okay. But that's just on skin in front of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I haven't had any of them push out or anything. I did my lip myself.
You did your lip yourself?
Oh, I did most of my piercings myself because I went to the Sturgis motorcycle rally one year,
Oh, wow.
and it was great. It was the best, dude. If you've never been, you need to go. It's amazing. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But I went into a shop and I wanted I had this one done already, just one, and I wanted the other one done.
So for anybody just listening, she's pointing at like the left and right side
Oh
of her
yeah,
lip.
sorry, my lips. I had one side of my lip done, and then I wanted the snake bites, that's what this is called. And I went into a one of the tattoo places, and he completely like destroyed my lip. He put it in crooked, and it was just terrible. So ever since then, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna mutilate my face, I'm gonna do it on my own.
Okay. Well, you know, because I'm not pierced or whatever, but I can imagine that.
I have 0 tattoos.
I prefer tattoos.
Yeah.
But like I can imagine with piercings, when you think about it, like most people only see the front side of the piercing, but there's the back of the piercing on like where it goes. It's important because like as you were describing it, I'm envisioning like even just going through someone's earlobe, if you go in, you would want it probably straight through.
Yes.
But some people might like pitch it a little bit where like
Exactly.
it goes in at the middle of your earlobe, but then when you get to the back, if they had it up, it goes up and you're more into the cartilage or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just, I would think that it's probably uncomfortable or
it's
whatever.
difficult to get your earrings in, and you
yeah.
know, I've had people mess me up, and I know.
So, and the same thing goes for something like a lip piercing on your face, because that's something that people see immediately, and if they're and then you probably got to deal with it with teeth and all that kind of stuff.
It doesn't bother my teeth at all.
No way.
No, they don't. They don't bother my teeth at all. The backs of these are flat, and they like settle into your lip, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of like forgiveness in your flesh.
Yeah, so they like kind of settle into your lips, so it doesn't affect my gums, my smiley. I don't have it too far down, so it doesn't hit my teeth. None of them hit my teeth. I mean, this one occasionally will hit my tooth, but I haven't had any issues with it.
Tooth. But that's cool.
Yeah. Every now and then.
It's not for everybody. I mean, it's never been for me, because obviously being a police officer for
Right.
20 years,
Walking
it was
around
like
with facial piercings.
you can't you're not going to get it. But I know some people, like I know some police officers that have like a septum. Right, septum. That's the one in the middle of your nose, and then they hide it or they've put it up. And then I think I know some people that have, some women that have gotten like their like one of their nostrils pierced. Like I remember my friend.
I used to have both mine.
Oh yeah, my friend Tiffany. I remember when she was a dispatcher. I went with her on her lunch break to Rockabilly up in Lauderhill, and she got her nose pierced, and she was still like in her dispatcher uniform. Like I have a picture of her getting her nose pierced.
That's fantastic.
And then she went back to work or whatever. So
that's awesome.
I
love it.
Usually it depends on like what your chief,
Yeah, what you're into.
Like it depends on what the chiefs allow, because there's not like a strict standard across all police departments. And some departments, obviously, if you go to like say the Pacific Northwest and you're in Seattle, they probably allow many more types of piercings on your face.
Different things.
But I know like one of our guys, he used to have, what did he have? He had a ring up in the cartilage in the top of his ear.
Okay, I know what you mean.
Or the back,
Yeah.
just like the back of his ear, not like an actual earlobe. And we were in a fight one day, not him and I, but against somebody, and it got caught. So
Ripped
it was
out?
like, I don't think it got ripped out, but we like look at him, we're like, yo, Dre, like your ear's bleeding, bro. Like, and he's like, shit, like let me get that cleaned up or whatever. And that's probably, aside from the old school mentality of like, we want to look military, we want to look clean cut and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's one of the things that even when they talk to women about fingernails and some of the, decoration that women might do, that, hey,
You don't wanna
you
do
don't
that.
want to, like, even
Well, as a
big,
police officer,
even
I
big
would
wedding
imagine
rings.
you wouldn't really want to have that stuff just because, it could be dangerous or,
Yeah. Well, it just, like if you get hit in the face and you've got
Yeah.
again, like I said, for the podcast audio side of the world, hang on. Let me take a break for 1 second and check one of the cameras. Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to let you know I have a new website format. Same website, donutshoppodcast.com, but this time I'm running it through Shopify. Make it much easier to purchase items because aside from the hats that I have up there, Donut Shop Podcast, PVC hats, the blue line snapback, laser mesh, nice and clean on the inside, comfy hats. I have some other swag, t-shirts, can koozies, just some other stuff that I put up there. I'm running the website through Shopify, and so it'll make it real easy for you guys to go on and purchase some stuff and support the show. So thanks for tuning in and following the show, and don't forget donutshoppodcast.com. Thanks. Hey, come here. Come here. No, bring it in real close. I got something for you. Did you subscribe yet? Right down there. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification because you got to know when we're going to give you a show. Do it. Go now. Go now. I'm waiting. Come on. Right there. All right, back to the show. All right, we're back. I had to restart one of the cameras. Something going on with the camera. I don't know if it's losing power or if they get hot, but the other ones aren't getting hot and they're shooting the same 4K.
Maybe it's the cord.
Yeah, I thought about it. It is, I don't know. So we'll get it figured out here, Donut Shop Podcast. But yeah, interesting conversation about the piercings. You always wonder, and you never really.
I grew up.
You never really get to talk to somebody about their piercings,
Yeah.
like unless you're at a tattoo show or
Right.
something like that, and somebody's actually talking about it. So
My childhood was pretty messed up. So, I feel like it was my way of coping.
yeah.
So,
Through pain or
pretty much, I guess. Through, the release of the pain. The pain, it was like a release, I guess, of.
or it gave you control.
Right.
It was your control and then when you do it yourself, you have the control.
Exactly.
It's not somebody else.
Right.
Whereas I can only assume a lot of times when people have childhood trauma and stuff, it's because of a lack of control.
Right.
Either through circumstances that you obviously can't change because you're a child,
Right.
Or things that people are doing to you.
Right. And I've lived on my own since I was 15.
Yeah.
So.
What?
Isn't that weird? I couldn't imagine my child living on their own at 15.
Right.
I'm like, how did I make it?
Was that Michigan or
yeah,
was
that was in Michigan.
What does one do when they leave home as a 15-year-old?
Okay, so it started out as going to a place for runaway teens or teens that just couldn't live with their parents that had bad
all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah.
Bad places, whatever. And I had gotten really close with them because I would always go to their, house there. They called it Miller House. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it's still there. It's in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Great place. But
and is that a temporary type facility, like a temporary type living arrangement?
So the Ozone House is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Ozone House that's like the temporary place that you go to, and you can go there, get meals. They help you. They offer you with therapy, things like that. And then they have the Miller House, which is a longer stay program, which is where they put you up in a house with some other people. And then you have to get a job within a certain amount of time. You have to be out of the house for a certain amount of time. So you had to leave at 7 a.m. and you couldn't come back until 5 p.m. And then as soon as you came back in, curfew, you couldn't go out.
Right. It's not a sit around in the house all day playing video games.
Yeah,
you
had to go out.
Situation.
Yeah,
you had to be productive.
Exactly. And
hopefully productive.
Right. Exactly. And then they would hold your check for you so that you would, they'd be able to keep it for when you're ready to actually leave. Mm-hmm. Well, I got caught up with a dude and I just wound up leaving.
Yeah.
And then that was how I wound up just roaming around.
Like homeless or
No. I mean, I would like couch surf a lot.
Couch surf,
You know,
okay.
I would like go around. I was homeless a couple times. I had to like sleep outside and like sleep in like truck stops or you know in tents and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
There were times where it was pretty rough, but I had really good friends back then.
Yeah.
Really good support system that kind of helped me stay alive.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So
But yeah, I mean, and so that was like from like what, like 15 to
I mean,
like, well, you're obviously now not sleeping on couches.
right?
And,
No,
and-
yeah.
and-
Until probably 15, until really I met my husband in like 2009, 2010, because I wasn't really, you know, I had been in a couple other relationships. I was in a 4-year relationship with my older son's dad, but that didn't work out. So I don't know. I still don't consider that like very. It was stable for a little while, but
Yeah.
you know there was issues.
But yeah, it just
like
wasn't the
always.
best.
It just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. But it was probably when I met my husband is when actually the stability, you know, started.
yeah.
And that was at probably, like I said, 2009, 2010. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you had over a decade of
Just
instability or you know,
working is
yeah.
what I did.
Yeah.
I worked. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I worked like from day to night. Like I would have a job in the morning. I would have a job at night. I was working. That's all I did.
Okay.
I was a hustler always.
Yeah.
Like always trying to make money.
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep yourself, because otherwise, if where you're landing isn't stable, like where you're staying isn't like stable or isn't a great environment, like yeah, like the job is
Right.
at least
Stable
structured
enough. Yeah.
structured, and then there's a purpose to it where you're making money to hopefully save or pay things off or
Yeah.
afford things. So yeah, and so that was all in Michigan.
Yeah.
So
I got
crazy
into
stuff. I mean, it's fucking cold up there.
Yeah, it's very cold. Like I was doing a lot of stuff like from cashier to you know serving, and then I got into the strip clubs. I danced for a year and a half, and then I served in there for like 13
Yeah.
almost 13 years. It was great though. I loved it. I absolutely loved
Yeah.
it. Great environment.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
I'm friends with the owner of Vixens, and so I'm trying to get him in here, but it's like to wrangle him is
Difficult.
tough. So, but John said to me, he's like, "Do you ever want the owner of a strip club to come on your show?" And I go, "Yeah." I go,
Right,
talk to
let's
me
do
about
it.
your like talk to me about whatever you are allowed to talk about, and let's try to keep it legal. I mean, I know
Yeah.
he's a pretty honest guy, so I go, if you're allowed, if there's not legally binding contracts that you're not allowed to talk about things,
Right.
I go, tell me about the business. I go, I want to hear about the business.
Yeah.
So
It's
so
crazy. It's a lot of crazy stuff.
it's an interesting business, and it can be a good business,
really
or
is.
it can be a completely filthy business. Really,
This is true.
how you
So
kind of handle that.
when I first started in the clubs, it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would give a guy a dance, like an actual dance. Like you wouldn't even like barely touch them.
Yeah.
And then when like as the years passed, I feel they turned into like brothels. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like I can't even be here anymore. This is
Yeah.
crazy-ness.
Yeah.
Like the things I've seen, you just
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
Crazy times.
yes, great times.
So we'll change the topic a little bit from where we're ending on that one. So you mentioned before at the kind of the beginning of the show, you said your brother passed away, and I know that's you've kind of told me that's a bit of a bone of contention, or that the story behind that is abnormal. So
Right.
kind of to go into that, or you want to go into that?
Okay, so my situation, since I was down here, right? I talked to my brother all the time. We were really, really close.
What's your brother's name?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Okay.
Yep. I was really, really we were super close. We talk all the time. I'll first start by saying he was in and out of, prison and jail and stuff like that as he was, growing up because of some things that happened to him when he was younger. He just got caught up in the system young,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so he was like in and out of that, and the situation.
What's the age difference between you guys?
4 years.
Okay.
He was 4 years younger than me.
Pretty close.
So yeah, he would have been 40 this year.
Okay.
But he so anyway, he met someone and was with this someone or whatever, and I get a phone call. Actually, no, I get a text Facebook message from an officer. It was like, "This is Officer so and so. I need you to, call me back regarding Jimmy Gonzalez." My first thought is, dude, he got locked up again. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
And then like a few minutes later, I had called the girl that he was with, and I talked to her, and she told me, she was just like, Jimmy's dead. That's what she said to me. And I of course I froze,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to
That's
say.
the last thing that you expected
Yeah,
to hear.
exactly. I was like, what? What, how did that happen? And she was like, oh, he hanged himself in the garage or whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you, how, what are you talking about? And then I flipped out. I just went into shock and absolutely flipped out. So I had to give myself time to think and settle. And then as things started to progress, the day after it happened, she checked herself into the mental hospital. And to me, that's kind of weird. I mean, yes, that's traumatic. That's a traumatic thing to see. There was 2 other guys that she was with that also passed away, which I also find kind of weird.
In her history?
Yes. She one was a overdose and the other one was a hit and run. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Coincidental, maybe.
I mean, I'm assuming with the crowd that they're running with and stuff
maybe,
like that, the
yeah.
overdose doesn't sound completely.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be
hit and runs. Those ones could be a million different.
Yeah, exactly.
Circumstances.
Exactly, but I mean, still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little weird to,
the weirdest stuff was the way she was trying to explain things. I kept asking her where, how, and how some houses have detached garages.
Yeah.
So their house had a detached garage, and she kept saying that she never went in the garage, right? Before she found him, because I guess apparently that's where he was.
It wasn't somewhere where she regularly walked into to do anything.
No, it was in the garage. And she said that she had drove around the corner because they had gotten into an argument. And she said she drove around the corner and just parked her car for a little while and just sat there. And I don't know, his phone was completely it was ran over by a car 5 times. Somebody didn't want him to use it, that type of craziness. It didn't look like he threw it. You know how you could throw a phone and it'll shatter? No, this phone was so messed up that you couldn't probably even get any information out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did I mention that 2 weeks prior she stabbed him?
No.
They got into an altercation, I guess, and he had grabbed her or something. I don't know what because she was acting crazy. She had a knife in her hand, and she wound up just stabbing him in his arm, and his arm was ripped open. It wasn't just a stab wound. It didn't look just oh, I stuck it in your arm. No, it looked like she stuck it in his arm and pulled it.
How'd you see that?
He sent me a picture of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was like, look what happened. And he tried to lie to me about it because he didn't want me to know that it was her. So he said it was some crackhead outside of a party store or something. I'm
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't believe what he said. But going back to the whole situation of the night that I guess this happened, she didn't know where she was apparently when she went to go park her car. She said she was never in the garage, but she had to go get her purse out of the garage. And that's how she found my brother.
Yeah. So it just, it sounds weird if it's a place that she's never been, but then
Yeah.
like her purse happened to be in the garage
Right.
or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's everything like leading up to it is just shady. Like everything. It just, the cord wasn't there.
What do you mean the cord? Like the cord?
She took the extension cord that he supposedly hanged himself
she took
with.
him down.
Yeah, but she took the cord and hid it.
That's,
So I don't even know how, like, I'm assuming, to me, I'm just assuming that the police came in and they were like, oh,
this guy
looked at my brother's record and they were like, oh, suicide. Okay. You know? And
no, I mean, I think with most places, like even in Florida, if even with even with and especially suicide, because you have the potential for homicide, like for a murder or a homicide, someone else killing that person, they're gonna present that body to the medical examiner's office. I mean, I don't know if there would at all be a suicide where we would be so sure on it that we'd be like, yo, medical examiner, you don't need to. But like, especially if you can see on the body presence of ligature and like strangulation,
right.
I would think that they would still present that to a medical examiner to understand what else is going on inside the body.
Right.
Like what, I was never a detective. I'm honest about that part.
Yeah.
But, just to look at all the different things to see if, he ingested anything beforehand,
right.
or if he took anything to
well,
sort of calm himself.
Alcohol. He was drinking that night. You know what I mean? I know he was drinking that night.
But alcohol is not something necessarily irregular.
Right.
But if somebody had taken something like a whole bunch of sleeping pills too.
Oh yeah.
To make themselves groggy or make it
right.
Because I can only assume that
hanging
yourself would be
there was none of that. Like it was just they just ruled it a hanging because I guess the marks on his neck. But I mean. Yeah.
And and then there's just so much more to investigate, or there's a lot to investigate, I would think, as well, because of the non-presence of the actual device, like you said, the cable or the cord.
That's what I didn't understand. Like
it's one thing, and it's not irregular for a family member, if it's a family member that finds the person, to cut them down or take them down. They're not interested in preserving evidence, all that kind of stuff. They're thinking, oh, perhaps I can save this person. I know I've been in on a few, and it's some of those where we'll immediately check the person,
right?
And it's like, yes, they're gone.
Yeah.
They've been here for a little while, or whatever. There's zero chance of us being able to revive or save this person. So we're going to maintain the scene to make sure that it wasn't done by someone else,
right?
Or set up or staged. We want everything found, because as soon as you start moving that body, things change. If it was fairly recent, then the blood may still be able to pool in a different way. Bruising may happen differently. There's all kinds of things. Like I said, not a homicide investigator. So I've only learned a few things and seen what I've seen, working over the years. But it seems super odd that either did you pull all the reports for it and stuff like that?
I did get a chance to read the police report, and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like the things, like the way that she said that everything happened, it makes no sense that way, especially without the cord. And he was on the ground, which is, like you said, that's not abnormal, because I do understand that if I found someone hanging, I would probably try to pull them down too, but I wouldn't hide the cord.
Yeah.
And it was just the whole situation is just odd behind it, and it sucks because my mom was so upset and in shock that she just had him cremated.
Mm-hmm. So there's nothing that if you were gonna exhume the body type of thing.
There's nothing that I could do with that. So it was just a messed up situation. So I don't know, but I do know that the truth does eventually come out.
Yeah.
So if something did happen, we will find out.
And karma all that
karma
stuff.
for
Karma
sure.
for sure can always catch up to somebody.
Yeah.
It sounds like with her history or life that there's probably plenty of karma built up somewhere. When was
I'm
this?
sure. 2019.
2019. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a tough thing. And then that, like you said, that kind of swirled into the blender of your personal traumas
Right.
and postpartum and everything and
Yeah,
stuff
mixed
like
with
that.
that was just like,
Yeah.
oof, it was bad. I was in a bad spot. I didn't want to get out of
Yeah.
bed.
I mean, it's good. It's good for all that stuff that you can still talk about that
Mm-hmm.
and get it out. Uh, I guess going back to that some of that stuff. Do you I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a little personal. You don't have to tell me about it, but do you go to therapy or you deal with therapy or have you dealt
Um,
with any kind of therapy?
I have in the past, but I'm currently not
Yeah.
in therapy right now. I've actually been seeking a therapist just because I want one just to kind
Yeah.
of like talk to. I do see a psychiatrist, so that's something.
Right. I've kind of forgotten the delineation between like a therapist, a psychologist, a psychotherapist, like
Psychiatrist,
psychiatrist,
yeah,
that there's
all different.
avenues
Yeah,
of what they can do and all that kind of stuff. So it's good. It's probably good to do that. I mean, I think I do some of that through this, like
right.
through talking. Like I'm a talkative person anyways. And for me, like secrets are no fun. So
Right,
I kind of just like let a lot of stuff fly. It's hard for me
for sure.
the only things that I keep to myself are usually out of respect for people,
Right.
that,
I feel like talking about things is helpful.
yeah,
I feel like the more I talk about it, the easier it gets.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The easier it gets to deal with because, like I said, my brother and that was my best friend.
hmm
So,
yeah.
like, for him to just be gone is like, the hell.
Well, and I think
For her to
I think
be
it's good, and
weird.
I always subscribe to the thoughts of you don't stop saying the person's name. That's why I asked you
Oh,
his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Like you don't stop. I mean, I do the same thing with people with police officers that I've
Mm-hmm.
known or whatever. Like don't stop saying their name
Yeah,
because the second you forget about them is the second time they die.
exactly.
So
I always say his name. And even my 8-year-old son, like he didn't really meet him. He
yeah,
got to FaceTime him maybe like one time,
yeah,
but he knows who his Uncle Jimmy is. He knows about his Uncle Jimmy. So
yeah.
I make
Yeah, so it's
sure.
good. You remember the best parts, and I found that talking to people, especially talking to like different people about things, sometimes it helps you or me or whoever. They kind of hear something kind of said back to them, or they go, oh, wait a minute, or like I'll present something, like they'll tell me a story on the podcast, and I'll ask them a question about something or present a question, and they go, never thought about it that way.
Right.
Because sometimes in this world where, like I've said it before, especially in 2026, it's hard to sit there and like talk to somebody on the phone because we're usually doing it where we're driving to point A to point B, and it's not Orlando, so you don't have 2 hours, 3 hours to
Right.
talk to somebody. You only have a limited amount of time, and then it's like, all right, bro, I'm at Publix or I'm at the gym. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And so you don't get in depth. So I've said sometimes like where I'll bring in a friend in here and it's like, man, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, and now I've got you locked in a room for 2
And now we're
hours,
talking about anything and everything.
and we can sit here and we can cover it, and so you can really get down to the dirt of it, and you're not necessarily up against the wall of time.
Right.
And so you can I can pose you a question about it and you can go, oh, I didn't actually think about it that way or that. So
Hmm.
I find that sometimes these podcasts are therapeutic as well as informative
I agree.
about situations.
I'd have to agree.
So,
I feel like I had a therapy session.
good. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. The fee. Yeah. I'll bill you.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, for that, I think, I think it's probably good. We could wrap it up or whatever. This
Yeah.
was cool.
Awesome.
So
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Jody. Thanks for coming on the podcast and
Thanks for
sharing your
having me.
story. And I'll put links in the description for Oil Can Functional Fitness.
Yep.
and stuff like that. And then just, our social media, put that in there if you want to give her a follow.
Awesome.
Or if you know, a grandparent or loved one, or if you yourself are a grandparent or loved one and want to
Or have.
try to, work into that, or,
Kids with, or, older adult parents,
yeah.
or older adults that have parents that are older
Yeah.
that may need it.
Anything, or just you want
Right.
to work out, or you want to,
I got you.
yeah. So, all right, everybody, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.